Boom, boom, guys. Hey, we're live. We're live. Happy Saturday, guys. If you're new into this channel, my name is Mamadou Diallo. And today, guys, today's topic, we're going to talk about all things virtual assistants, the right way to hire, who to hire from, but also how to train and what is the ins and outs and what's involved with dealing with virtual assistants. I get this question all the time, especially from new real estate investors on where to hire virtual assistants, how to deal with them. They don't know how to train. Some of them think just because you hire a virtual assistant they will build your business for you, right? And so you're going to learn the right and wrong things, to like the wrong things to avoid and the right things to do when you hire virtual assistants, how to train them efficiently. And also I'm going to have two special guests. Those are my virtual assistants that has been with me for a really, really long time. They're rock stars. We use CallStar guys to hire virtual assistants, and they're highly trained. But the reality is, when when you start your real estate business, you cannot count on anybody to build your business outside of yourself. And we're going to also talk about, so I'm going to let them tell you guys what kind of sacrifices and struggle maybe that they deal with over there in order to even work for us and make all these calls 8 hours a day, work night shifts where they leave in order to help us build our businesses. And also, me dealing with virtual assistants for a really long time now, over 2 years. I already know. Bonjour Leslie, comment tu vas? I already know, like, we take them for granted. Sorry guys, I'm going live on YouTube, Instagram too. Oh gosh. Let's see. Boom. Okay. So guys, so one of the common mistakes I see is when people hire, they have this like unreasonable expectations when they hire a virtual assistant. They think soon as I hire a virtual assistant, that's it. My business is done. I don't have to do anything else. The VA should go and lock up the deals and generate the leads and build my business for me. Why am I not getting any deal? And I've been paying this virtual assistant for 3-4 months, right? That's because you have the wrong expectation, and you, especially if you never built a team before and you never managed a team before in your 9 to 5, or maybe you have zero sales experience when you hire this virtual assistant. There's a lot that goes into it, guys. So again, if you're new into this channel, guys, my name is Mamadou Diallo, full-time real estate investor. Been doing real estate now for over 2 years, close to 3 years. Done hundreds and hundreds of real estate transactions, all the way from rentals, fix and flips, all type of buy and hold strategies, Airbnbs. Specializes in creative finance, guys. And our virtual assistants from CallStar are actually highly trained to pitch creative finance. But today, that's not the topic. The topic is the right way to hire, where to hire from, and to have the right expectations, and not count on the virtual assistant to build your business, but to count on yourself and your skills and your ability to train these people. But if you don't have time, what is the right way to make sure that you at least have a middle person doing it for you while you're busy with your 9 to 5? So I'm going to let them introduce themselves first. Today I have the rockstar Mayan and I have rockstar Ruth. This two has been with me for a really long time. I love working with them. Let's see. So we're gonna start with Ruth. Ruth, introduce yourself to the public. Who are you? How long you been with me? What's your name? Where you live in the Philippines? How long you been working in the real estate industry?
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. By the way, my name is Ruth. I live here in the Philippines in Tagum, especially in Tagum City. So I'm with Mamadou for almost 1 year and 2 months already. So yeah, this is the first time that I stayed too long into a client. I'm really happy. But I work with I'm with the real estate industry for almost 2 years now. But
Mhm.
I'm gladly, of course, I stayed with Mamadou because Mamadou really helps me on how to build my confidence at the same time. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for that, Mamadou.
Absolutely. All right, and we got Mayan in the house. Actually, Mayan transitioned from co-caller to lead manager this year, right? She's been with me for so long because we train them highly every single day. Now she's good at even doing the follow-up. So now she went from a co-caller to a lead manager. But Mayan, tell us, like, how long you've been in the real estate industry? Who are you? Introduce yourself first. How long you've been in the real estate industry? Then we'll get into it.
Hi everybody, my name is Mayan. in the real estate industry for a year, and I'm very blessed to be on this team as Mamadim really taught me a lot in order for me to, work efficiently as a virtual assistant. And yeah, here I am now. I'm so excited for this.
All right, so guys, just so you know, they're super nervous to be here, as you can tell. But
Yeah, very much.
I know,
This
right?
is the first time.
Because they're just used to sitting in the back end and then talking to customers, sellers, and whatnot. So, but honestly, we've built a culture where the virtual assistants, they're we don't even I don't even yet like using the term virtual assistant because people misuse this term. These people are not virtual; they're actually human beings who have families, who have needs, who have bills. They do fall sick. They're actually human beings. They're not robots. So when you're working with these people, unless you also care about them, like your business will literally suffer from it, right? So a lot of them, if once you find good ones, right? Once you find good ones, a lot of them you're gonna notice, oftentimes because of the culture and all that fun stuff. One, there is a culture shock. They have to adapt through with the culture that here in the US, if they're calling here in the US. So it's a lot of mindset things that goes into this in the everyday trainings, right? And this is where most newbies struggle, is that they hire too soon. They have no experience whatsoever themselves before they hire a virtual assistant. And when they hire, they don't leverage a third party company that at least have the experience to train these people properly, or they just don't do it every single day. They train the VA once a week. Like I remember recently, I consulted a lady who had her virtual assistant for about 6 months, no deal whatsoever, and she was complaining. But as I dug deeper, I found out, listen, like you're not training your VA. You guys are not role playing every single day. You yourself, you're not trained. Like when your VA generates leads, you're too scared to follow up on your leads because you have no experience. And so is the wrong way for you to hire. You should have hired through a third party company, even though it costs a little bit more. But guess what? They can deal with the training part, and you focus on going and learning the sales skills, which is the lead management and acquisition. So you can, you basically can follow up on those leads. But you generating leads and you're too afraid to follow up, like how much money you're wasting, you're throwing out of the window. So with that being said, one thing, Ruth, the reason I wanted to have you guys here, Ruth and Mayan, is because one, we do a lot of interviews with virtual assistants to find one. Like you can talk to 15, you can do 15 interviews and find one that is, they have the good English, they seem to have the right attitude, right, and all that fun stuff. And so people don't know what goes behind it. But also, with my experience with virtual assistants, over here we take it for granted the sacrifices that actually you guys go through to just work at night, right? Like if for example you're starting at 9 a.m. our time, is really 9 p.m. your time, right? And then you guys work from 9 p.m. to sometimes 6 7 a.m. in the morning your time,
Yes.
right? And then you have family, you have kids, you're married, you also have your own personal goals. So I've talked to virtual assistants that kind of like told me how their ex-boss or whatever was treating them less than human beings, and some of them get burnt out and give up. So tell me a little bit, let's start with Ruth. Tell me a little bit, what has been your, before you worked with me, how many people have you worked for before you started working with me?
Um, I work with two. First one is I was an ESL teacher, and then because of what happened in that state that they need to change when it comes for their policy, then I need to resign. So, next is I work with one of the other client that I stayed for maybe like around 5 to 6 months.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just that it was not, I mean, it was successful. It's just that I don't really know what happened to the leads, since because when it comes for a real estate, we can't really guarantee that you can really close into
Right,
one lead, right?
right.
um of course, yes, but the good thing is when he introduced he introduced me to you. So I was like, oh, okay. So this is the real estate. So I was like, I'm really excited, especially the time that I was able to close one lead. So I was like, Okay, I need to learn more something new about real estate.
Yeah, we actually just closed on a deal that Ruth co-called. This is a lead in Illinois, ended up becoming a seller finance. Not only that, that's the lead that Pace had me on his podcast to talk about. That lady, not only she paid off her loan, we did a seller finance, but she ended up becoming my private lender. That was a lead from Ruth, right? All of them trained through CallStar. Again, guys, we hired through CallStar. But here's what Ruth is talking about. So sometimes people hire VAs. I'm talking about the co-owners. Remember, guys, if you're building a house, I don't care how many bricks you pile up. If the foundation is not done the right way, if the foundation is not solid, that house literally just a wind blow can literally completely, take the house off, right? Like the foundation have to be solid. So in the wholesaling real estate or real estate investing in general, the co-callers are in the forefront. So they're the foundation of the house. The house is the whole business, and the foundation is the co-callers, whether they be texting, co-calling, or maybe setting up your, answering your inbound leads. It doesn't matter, but they're in the forefront. And so if that's not solid, everything else doesn't matter. Is either you're going to end up with a lot of trash leads in your pipeline because they're not trained properly, right? Or maybe, so Ruth brought up a really great point, is sometimes people hire virtual assistants and they don't explain to these people how does this business make money? What does this machine look like? Why are we calling these people, and what are we trying to accomplish, and how, like, what is the lifetime of, man, I'm losing my English today. Maybe I should have did a live in French. But like, let's say they cold call somebody to generate a lead. What happens to that lead from the day they generated the lead up to the day? Like, what happened to you guys have no clue. So the virtual assistant is sitting there. Like, I literally have one of my virtual assistant, while she's cold calling, guys, she is taking care of her baby in the back. Literally. And right now, I have a almost 2-month old. I know what that feels like. If my wife is not here, I'll go crazy. Like, women are superheroes. Like, I don't know how you're doing. She leave me 1 hour with the baby, I completely lose it. Right? So you can only imagine she's cold calling, feeding the baby in the back, whatever. Can you imagine that virtual assistant generating a lead? Okay. And maybe you have lazy lead managers like I had at once. They don't follow up on the lead for a whole week. And the cold caller don't know whatever happened to that lead. All that hard work that I put in, every single day I'm calling, and 8 hours a day, people are cussing me out on the phone. And then I get one person that says yes. Okay, what happened after? They have no clue. And what happened is they start losing motivation because they don't know, okay, I'm just sitting and calling these people, but what are we really doing? So in my business, guys, what we do is every single morning, like, we want you to know where's your lead status is. You cold called it. Here's where we at. Did we follow up? Does it end up being a deal? If it end up being a deal, you actually, as a cold caller, you get a bonus from it, right? So I had to learn this, by the way, guys, like by mistake, because the first time that I started, I hired too fast. I had about 5 years, and I had to let them all go. Why? Because one, I was full-time, and then I'm also driving Lyft and Uber full-time trying to get my first deal. And I hired a VA, and now I have no time to train the virtual assistant. I thought it's just, once I hire it, just hand them over the dialer and the deal's gonna start coming in. It's not how it works. They need training. They need to get familiarized with the real estate lingo. They need to understand, like, okay, we're truly solving problems here. Oh, okay, and how are we solving problems? So now, and you guys can, Ruth and Mayan can testify to this. Like, we go over the stories of the seller. We talk about these things. What problem did we solve? How did we close it? Blah, blah, blah. What was going on with the seller? And all of that helps, but also it completely eliminates the frustration of the virtual assistant not knowing what happens to my hard work. It's not just about you giving them $4 or $5 or $6 an hour. It's not about that. It's like, okay, mindset wise, are you keeping them mindset wise healthy every single day on your daily huddle, daily meetings? And most people that hire when they first start, they should never hire by themselves. They should go through a third party company that takes care of that, because it's a full-time job. And if you don't have time to do it, what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting burnt out, start blaming the virtual assistant, the reason that thinking that is their fault that you don't have a deal. So with that being said, like Mayan, for example, when you started, right? When you first started, did you have any real estate background at all? Like your first cold call position, did you have any real estate background?
Just all I know is to like do it like a survey, asking questions.
Right.
How like how many beds and baths does this home have, like that. I
Mhm.
talk like a surveyor. But when I
Like a
started joining
robot.
the team, I now know how to talk. Yeah, yeah, like a robot. But when I joined Mamadou's team, I was able to like have a real connection with the seller, understand the situation, and give a a perfect scenario for the seller. And then that's how we
Mhm.
close the deal.
Right. Every single day, what time do you start working? Like I know we start at we have our morning meetings, but like for you, for example, like Ruth work from home, but for you, Mayam, for example, you have to literally go to an office. How long of a commute do you have just going to the office, going back home?
Well, it's just nearby, but however, I need to wake up early because I need to travel, and later at night here in my place we don't have any vehicles, so I need to
Right,
really come in the office early, and take a nap until the time that we will be having our daily huddle. And then
right,
yeah, I spend my time like 12-hour time here in the office just to just to be here at work,
right,
and
right.
that's it.
So how important it is for you guys to fully understand when you get with somebody, how important it is for you guys to understand outside of, okay, you gave me a script, I see the lines, I see what I'm supposed to say, but what am I actually doing? Right? Because I used to make that same mistake. I hire a VA, I give her one. This is a mindset thing. Like I hate using the word VA because people start thinking you guys are like these virtual people with no feelings and no, you know what I mean? Like you guys get sick. You have your own personal goals. Like Ruth, for example, you just recently, I think, accomplished one of your goals that you had when you came with me, right? What was it again?
Yeah, a land. I was able to buy a land.
You gotta say that louder, man. Come
I'm
on,
too shy.
come on, say it
Yeah,
louder.
but honestly, yes, I was able to buy one of like a piece of land only in our province. So my parents is taking care of that land.
Boom, right? So one thing we've implemented, guys, in my company is every single morning before we start the role plays with the virtual assistants, so we role play with them every single day, right? But before we even start, one of my requirements is a must. They have to go through their personal goals. They have to write it in the present tense, and each one of them have to say their goals loudly to the others on there, and see also where they're at on trying to, on like where are they right now? How many bonuses do they still need maybe to accomplish that? And then every single day we talk a lot about mindset, guys. You have no clue. Like I'm from Africa, I understand this stuff. Like I know if I was in Africa right now, my mindset would be so different that like if I'm working for you, you better brainwash me and put new information in my head. And this is the same thing with these people. Like every single day is mindset. Like we talk all the time. Not only that, we have an open virtual office. Everybody's required to be present in that office. I jump in and out, my acquisitions jump in and out. But the morning meeting is so important. We start with the personal goals, and then we start role playing, and then we talk about the real estate lingo. We talk about creative finance. What is this? What is that? They have questions, but now they're more motivated. Why? Because they feel like they're part of the family and they're involved in the business, which they are, by the way. They're involved in the business, right? I asked them about their families. They asked me about mine. They know my kids. I know their kids. Literally, Ruth is son is he's always asking about me, right? So really treat them like family. And this is not just trying to fake it or whatever, but like I see a lot of people get frustrated with virtual assistants, but really the frustration is on you because you're not setting up the right systems in place. You're counting on them to build your business. Secondly, they don't have a clue what they're doing, right? They don't have a clue what they're doing. They jump on these calls and they have no clue. Okay, how are you solving problems? What happened to my lead that I spent 8 hours? I got cussed out 99% of the time, and then I got one lead. What happened to that lead? Right? You never ask them about their birthdays. You don't send them a bonus when, like, you know what I mean? Like those things are so important, guys. Like they're in the forefront of your business. They're the foundation, right? And so it's super tough to find good ones, but once you find good ones, the great thing about them, guys, is they can do everything. Like Ruth here, she does admin. She can cold call. She can set up a website for me. She can do video editing for social media. The multitask. Mayan, she can cold call. She can try to close a seller. She handles in the morning helping other virtual assistants that come underneath them and train them and stuff. But you have to build that culture, and you have to really show that you do care about them, because it's so important for them. You guys have no clue the sacrifice. Even me myself, like one of my goals, guys, is to honestly fly in the Philippines, which I will, and meet all of these people because they're part of my family, they're part of my team, right? This is how they help me feed my family. I help them feed their families. We solve problems together every single day. You guys know how important it is, even if I'm not there, that the meetings always, we do it daily. You guys do the goal setting, you know, role plays and whatnot. And so when you first hire, guys, if you just getting started, my advice, if you have no sales background, no experience with building a team at your 9 to 5, if you're starting out, hiring virtual assistants to do the cold calls and the texting and stuff is the right thing to do, because it's not really. I remember when it took me 8 months to get my first deal, guys. If I had hired a virtual assistant before, because what I was doing, I was driving Lyft and Uber and trying to get my first deal. And when I don't have a client for Lyft and Uber, then I cold call from my passenger seat. Like I used to have my computer, and then I would hand down, right? But I never knew, like, if I had hired a virtual assistant generating leads 8 hours a day while I'm driving my customers around and then driving for dollars, I would have maybe gotten my first deal way sooner, because like I would have way more leads in my pipeline. So I wasn't getting enough leads because I'm doing everything, right? So once I figured that part out, I'm like, oh shit. But my mistake that I did is that I hired a virtual assistant, and now I was busy driving Uber and Lyft. And so I didn't have the time to train her. She didn't understand what she was doing, didn't understand the business. Her name was Abby. And so obviously I wasn't getting nothing. I had her for 6 months, and I just ended up wasting money for 6 months, right? So she costed me less, but if I had hired her through a third party company, I would have paid a little bit more, but at least they have the time to train, hire, fire. I don't have to talk to 15 VAs to find one good ones, right? So this is the reason, guys, like if you're getting started, you don't have all these prior experiences, do not waste money, because they're gonna generate leads, but they won't be leads because they're not trained properly. You're too busy. You have a 9 to 5. You don't have the time to train them. You hire them. You spend all this money on marketing just for them to not be productive. And a lot of wholesalers give up after 90 days because they run out of money. They run out of money to pay the virtual assistant, and they haven't gotten a deal yet. And so they blame it on the virtual assistant. But really, the issue is not the virtual assistant. The issue is you, right? And so with that being said, Ruth, let me ask you something. Have you ever been, is there any like a nightmare story that you've been through? Like you work for somebody and you didn't, maybe the way they were treating you, or you were lost, or you're like, you didn't really find any purpose of you waking up in the morning and coming and picking up that phone and calling. Have you had that experience throughout the time you've been working for maybe other people or even me?
You kidding, but no, yes, I experienced that before. Like when the time that you're, for you, for the first time as a being a cold caller, you're already setting expectation that, okay, if I will have a lead, there will be like extra bonuses, because of course,
Right.
like nowadays, right, money is very important because you can't really buy and sustain the needs of your family. So
Correct.
that's that's the truth, right, for this,
Mhm.
especially
Yep.
the economy right now.
That's
So
right.
yeah, I was really sad, especially during our first time, Mamadou, the first
Mhm.
month that we've been together, just the two of us, and then the
Mhm.
rest of the lead manager, that we have I have like the leads before. Like
Mhm.
one of the lead is already stuck on the on our pipeline that was not been called for how many months, and then yet I
Right.
was found out that the property was been sold after a month. So I was like, shoot, that lead is it should be us.
Yeah,
It should be
because
called by us.
the lead manager was lazy and never followed up, right?
Yeah,
And
that
so
is the
you
frustration.
felt like you did all that work for nothing because we just lost a lead. You generated a lead, it was a lead. Lead manager never followed up. Somebody else ended up getting the contract. And people don't
True.
understand that. Why would that be a frustration for you?
It's because aside from that, at least there's for me that is the opportunity that I can prove to you that hey, I'm working. I mean, this is the fruit that you're training me
Mhm.
for so long, you know. I
Right,
mean,
right.
that pride to myself because honestly when the time that you trained me like one on one before, oh my god, I'm about to cry. Yeah, before that I don't really have what is real estate is, and then you taught me how what is this the inside world of real estate industry. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, then I need to find one specific seller who's really motivated, which I was able to hit those, the
Mhm.
motivation, the timeline that they could interested in selling anytime soon. And then
Mhm.
but yet the call was not being follow up. So I was like, oh my god, this is already the time. Actually, that
Yeah,
is two leads. That is the
right.
time that this is my pride to share it with you that hey Mama Do, I'm worth
Yeah,
it. I'm a
yeah,
worth cold
yeah.
caller virtual
I
assistant for you.
remember I remember you shared your frustration with me because you felt like your basically your hard work is being thrown out of the window, right?
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, guys, it's so important. Like, not just to spend because we spend so much time and energy with the salespeople, lead managers, acquisitions, and sometimes we forget that the co-callers are the ones that generates the leads that those people need to work on in the first place. So you have to spend time with these people. You have to show them that the work is not going to the drain, right? Every single day, help them get stronger mindset wise, keep them motivated, and give them a bonus if they close. If a deal that they called closed, give them a bonus on it, right? How about you, Mayan? Any frustrations that you've had or bad experiences that you had before, or maybe just you had somebody hire you and they just gave you a script and never cared?
Yeah, I have experienced that as well. You know, imagine waking up, going up to work, and then you don't have the energy anymore. Like, oh, what am I doing? I don't see any purpose in this.
Yes,
So,
yes.
that's not a good experience. And I have to use this platform, Mamadou, to thank you because you have been my inspiration since I joined your team. I
Thank you.
couldn't be prouder of myself because right now I can say that I have improved, like
Yeah,
my mindset, how
right,
I discipline myself because I see you as
right.
my inspiration. Really, you
Oh,
motivated
thank
my
you.
me to
Don't
do
make me cry on the
everything. Like,
live.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm also about to cry. No kidding. Yeah, really, thank you for making me as proud as myself as I am right now. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's all I can
I can tell
say.
you that if you're new and maybe watching this in the future, I promise you guys, 99% of the work that we do with virtual assistant, I promise you, is mindset. It's so like I've understood that because if even myself, 99.9% of the things we learn through wholesaling, like our struggles, and it's when I got into this journey, Maya and Ruth, is the same thing. I found out, you know what? Real estate is not the issue, is my mindset is messed up. Like I
Yeah.
had to change my mindset to get my first deal because I was chasing my first deal because I was so hungry. I just got divorced. I quit my 9 to 5, man. I need to pay my bills tomorrow. And I was struggling to get my first deal. Everything I was locking up was not closing. Okay. Until one day I had it, I was listening to a podcast and it was Pace Morby. He was talking and he complete like it's almost like you took all this like uh old information from my head, you extracted it out, and all of a sudden I had new information. I was like, this is why I don't have my deal. My first deal, I'm too focused on getting my first deal instead of being focused on finding who needs my help.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I'm not looking for somebody to help. I'm looking for somebody to pay my bill. I was like, oh, this is why I'm struggling. This is why the universe is saying, no, 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 you're not getting a deal right now, buddy. But as soon as I shifted my mindset, 2 days later, guys, I got a deal and it was a $19,000 deal. Why? Because I called this lady and I said, hey, I'm not going to get into the story, but basically I said, hey, I have the solution for you. And the solution was creative finance because I just heard Pace Murby. And then I said, I'm sure we can close and help you. She was a single mom, homeschool teacher, just got divorced, looking to move to Idaho from Baltimore. I said, I think we can help you with creative finance. And I don't care if I don't make any money, but I promise you, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Tomorrow I'll bring my partner to explain it if you're open to it. And she was open to it. I said, even if I don't make nothing, at least you get your $3,000 to move out. And then, we let that investor take over your mortgage. Once I shifted that mindset, guys, it took us 1 week to find a buyer that was willing to pay me a $19,000 assignment fee on that deal, even though I was supposed to not make a penny on the deal. So it was all mindset. So I understood how important it is. That's why we started shifting the culture in our business here. Is like, okay, if I'm spending time with the team in the morning, we got to work on the mindset because I know the culture is different. I know how you guys think is different, right? And so you have to understand like how the people think over here, and then you yourself, because of the culture over there, sometimes you got to shift your mindset and kind of like, put yourself a little bit on people's shoes here. But on top of that is like mindset wise, like how do I keep going when I'm cold calling and being cussed out every single day, people cussing me out, people trying to do like, there's some weirdos out there trying to propose you guys sexual stuff on the phone. It's all real. You guys go through this, right? Or maybe you work 3 months and you still haven't had a lead and you feel like you're useless. And so if the team owner don't come back to you and reinforce the fact that, hey, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it is okay to screw up, it is okay to make mistakes, just learn from it, it is okay to get better 1% every single day. Like, I don't care if you don't master the script in 1 month, it's going to take you time. I just want you to keep getting those reps in, right? That builds the mindset and you start thinking differently. You start having that self-confidence and you start like, oh man, I want my partner, my team, I want everybody to be successful. So you're more motivated to come in and do the work, right? And so honestly, over here, culture-wise, we take you guys for granted. And we would love, in my circle, we would love to change that because you're like human beings, not virtual. You guys are not virtual. You're virtual in the sense of you're in the Philippines, but you're not virtual. You're human beings. You're married. Some of you are married, some of you are not, but you still have family you're taking care of. Some of you're the only breadwinner, right? And so it's really important for people to understand that. And then on top of that, hiring the right way. Hiring the right way, guys. And we're gonna end with this, guys. I appreciate you, Ruth. I appreciate you, Mayan. I'm gonna let you guys say one last word before we get out of here. But if you're new and you have zero sales background, you've never built a team at your 9 to 5 corporate job, whatever, please do not hire directly a virtual assistant. Hire through a third-party company. Like I said, we use CallStar because they will hire for you, do the firing, do the trainings daily. You don't have to deal with all of that, especially if you have a 9 to 5. If you have a 9 to 5 and you're trying to generate leads by yourself, you could probably only talk to 10 people a week. That's not going to build any pipeline for you. And if you have the sales background and all that fun stuff and you can train somebody, then you can hire directly from these online websites. But trust me, more importantly than the scripts, you're going to have to help your VAs with this, the mindset. You're going to have to role play with them every single day, not once a day, not twice a day, not once every week, not twice a week. Every single day, Monday to Friday, we role play from Monday to Saturday, literally. Monday to Saturday. You're gonna have to role play with them. And you have to be comfortable not getting any leads the first time you hire a virtual assistant, unless you hire already trained virtual assistants. You have to be comfortable having a virtual assistant for 90 days before she start being really good on the phone and generating quality leads. That's just the reality of it. So you want to make sure you put. Here's the reality, guys. If you buy in Chipotle and Starbucks every single day, you can afford a VA. Stop kidding yourself. You can absolutely afford a VA. So I see a lot of people that have those excuses. Oh, I cannot afford a VA because no, you buy in Chipotle and Starbucks every day. You can. The only thing is, are you hiring the right way? And if so, are you training them, spending enough time with them? If not, then hire to a third party company. And we use CallStar again, guys. So Ruth and Mayan, any last word for people over here? Maybe some wise words on how maybe the right way to hire, or you guys know the culture over there, the right way to treat people, anything. Let's start with Ruth.
Me, okay, guys. Honestly, am I yeah. So yes, for the new virtual assistant, please don't be afraid. Go out to your comfort zone, like what Mama Du said.
Ooh.
Think out of the box. This is what I learned from him. Build your confidence. If you're not really that good in English, try to speak in English. Even talk to your daughter or kids or neighbor. Speak in English even
Let's
though they were
go.
going to say you're crazy or what. So
Yeah.
but yeah, think out of the box. Keep think positive. Okay, don't mind others who's talking negative to you, because that's not really good idea. Just think of yourself, your family, because you're the only one who's feeding them. So that's all. If you wanted to hire somebody, we're here. Call star.
Boom, boom, boom. How about you, man?
Um, Oh, my camera shy. I apologize for that. But yeah, I agree with Ruth. You just have to be confident. Build your confidence, guys. That's all you need, and find someone who would motivate you, inspire you, help you with anything that you need. And one day you'll be shocked that you'll start from here, you'll be on the top.
Let's go. Let's go. There you have it, guys. There you have it. This is the boom, boom, boom bold team right here, guys. Again, if you're new into this channel, do not forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, guys. We really appreciate you. But and if you're looking for a virtual assistant, you can reach out to CallStar. There's many other companies out there, or you can hire directly from online sites like phonlinejobs.com. That's who I used to use when I used to hire by myself. But the reality is, if you have no experience, do not do that. I'm telling you, you're gonna waste so much money in marketing, and you're not able to train your virtual assistants correctly. So you're gonna end up with a lot of trash leads in your pipeline. With that being said, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And until next time, boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Maya.
See ya.